you climbed those ruins back in Moscow, with your radio, did you imagine our life on the surface at all?
Metro Exodus is still a survival horror game at its roots. This time around, the stealth and horror are combined with vast open-world areas that make this the most epic game in the series to date. Unlike most first-person shooters, you'll need to rely on much more than your instincts to run and gun in Metro Exodus. In post-apocalyptic Russia, bullets are a commodity. Because of this, you'll need to focus on your other skills as well as shooting to survive. Sometimes your bare fists will be the best choice when deciding how to take out each enemy. Unlike most games in the genre, Metro Exodus gives you an ending based on the choices that you make. As you clear out bases and hideouts, enemies will surrender, presenting you with an ethical dilemma. Knocking them unconscious with your fist will lead you on a higher path, making you a better person as you journey through this harsh land. On the flip side, killing every soldier, thug, and pirate that waves the white flag will set you on a dark path from which you may not be able to return. This makes decisions that would usually be meaningless factor into the overall story and how you decide to play the game. Though not incredibly deep, the morality system will make you think a little harder before you become judge, jury, and executioner. During our playthrough, we found ourselves shedding less blood in an attempt to redeem ourselves for sins committed earlier in the game. Though it won't completely change the way you play the game, it adds a fun depth to a series that was in need of some new features. A nice addition this time around involves a light crafting element. This new element is fun, yet accessible. Anyone can enjoy crafting new weapons and armor without wasting all their time farming for materials. You'll find plenty of parts you need through normal gameplay and exploration to craft a wild assortment of wares. Metro has always had fun, homemade-looking weapons that made you really feel like you were in a post-civilization where professionally crafted weapons are a thing of the past. Along with weapons, you'll need to continually craft bullets, filters, and med packs, as well as making sure that your gas mask is always in proper working order. Fortunately, your gas mask isn't as necessary on the surface as it tends to be in the Metro. You never know when you'll need it though, so it would behoove you to keep it in good shape. Along with crafting, you'll need to keep your weapons as clean as possible. The more dirt and grime that builds up on them, the worse they operate when you need them most. Anytime you stop at a workbench, make sure to clean all your weapons so that they are in working order. The last thing you want when a vicious wolf is jumping at you is for your gun to jam. The open world sections feel like those that could be found in the Tomb Raider franchise. A series of events leads you to a place on the map, and once you arrive, you can tackle several missions in any order that you see fit. You'll see areas marked on your map with your objectives. Most of these objectives are optional, with the main objectives marked with a big X. In lieu of side missions, characters will ask you in passing if you could retrieve various items that they've lost. It's your call whether you find them or not. Your reward is always seeing the smile on their face as you return their lost keepsakes, and occasionally some special gear or other rewards as well.
I'm not in love with this place. Nothing but sand and heat. I feel like shit here.
In past Metro games, lack of direction has always been an issue. In the early parts of Exodus, they remedy this in a big way. Having another character with you to point in the right direction that you need to go is an excellent addition to the game, and eases many of the navigation headaches that you may have experienced in the past. Unfortunately, there are still portions of the game where RTM finds himself alone, destined to be lost for a while until you happen upon the right path. Usually this involves looking for a lever, door, or tunnel, so be on the lookout for areas like that when you get stuck. Large portions of the game take place at night, where it is harder for human enemies to see you. This makes it a little harder to see and makes your flashlight battery even more valuable. A nice feature that Exodus has involves getting some sleep. If you prefer to take on the tasks at day or night, you can change the time of day by sleeping. This will allow you to wake up whenever you would like to proceed through the mission. If you're the type who doesn't mind a little darkness in your life, you can equip your night vision goggles or scope to get the job done through the night. Metro has never looked or sounded better. The 4A engine shines here, and the outdoor settings allow them to really take full advantage of it. Mutated creatures look the most horrific and detailed that they have ever looked. Even the character models are so detailed, you can even see hairs and scars that mark their bodies. Exodus is by far the best looking game in the series, and even makes the Redux versions feel incredibly outdated. Sound in the game is a mixed bag. The sound effects are brilliant. Even the clanking of a steel ladder as your boots hit each rung sounds incredible. Where the game falters is the voice work. While it's not bad, there's just too much of it. Walking too far from a character will cause another character to begin talking while the original one finishes their dialogue, leaving your brain in chaos as they talk over each other. There is a neat effect as you get further from an ally. You hear them in your headset as opposed to hearing them as though they were still beside you. It's a subtle detail, but it helps to make it feel even more realistic.
Yeah, so much for stealth. At least they got their just desserts.
Metro has come a long way since the series' humble beginnings last generation. Each sequel builds on a foundation that its predecessors built, yet can't quite shake some of the flaws that have always held them back a bit. Many of the issues found in 2033 and Last Light have been addressed. However, Metro Exodus still finds a way, especially as the game hits the third act, to remind us of the many problems we've always had with this franchise. These problems include some bad artificial intelligence, lack of direction, even though it's better, voice work, and some hitboxes that don't seem quite accurate. While none of these ever stopped us from enjoying the game, it's hard not to think about what Metro could be with just a little more polish. Exodus is, by far, the best game in the series, and it's clear that A4 has been chomping at the bit to show off what they can do in a variety of outdoor settings. Though it's not without flaw, Metro Exodus will keep you thoroughly engaged as you play through the next chapter of RTM's journey. And this journey is one that we are more than happy to go on with him. For more videos from Handsome Phantom, make sure to subscribe, and visit handsomephantom.com for all kinds of podcasts, articles, reviews, and more.